Hi, Amy and Bella here. Thanks for joining us on another soggy adventure. We're sure you're going to absolutely love this one. Are you ready to hear about all the secret wet fun your girlfriend has been having? Perfect. Let's begin. So, do you remember a few weeks ago when we were out dancing and I had that little accident on our walk home? Okay, so maybe it wasn't so little. But I did manage to step onto that grass, so I didn't leave a big puddle behind. And no one could tell that I had soaking wet panties on under my dress. I mean, you knew. After all, you watched me lose control and completely pee myself in front of you on our date. And you were so kind to me. You told me not to worry about it. Accidents happen to everyone, and you gave me a kiss on my forehead and held me close to you. You were so sweet. I was a little embarrassed because we've been dating for a while and I really like you. I feel like now's as good a time as any to tell you that was not my first time wetting myself, and it won't be my last. When I was a little girl, I had a best friend my own age who lived down the street from me. We used to play together all the time and regularly have sleepovers at each other's houses. She had a little bit of a plumbing problem and had to wear pull-ups at night. We were old enough that she should have been able to stay dry at night, but I never teased her about it. One night when I was at her house, we were getting ready for bed, and she told me I was her best friend and thanked me for never making fun of her for her little nighttime problem. I told her she was my best friend too, and I'd never be mean to her like that. That's when she asked if I wanted to wear a pull-up too. I was shocked. I'd been dry at night for years, and I only had the occasional daytime accident. I didn't know what to say. But why would I wear a diaper if I wasn't going to wet the bed? She was so excited about the thought of me wearing one with her, I reluctantly agreed, and she ran to the bathroom to get one for me. I slipped off my panties and pulled the good night into place, and it took some getting used to. I felt like I was waddling around like a duck. She thought it was hilarious, but I felt like a toddler. We climbed into her queen-size bed and put on a movie to watch. As the movie ended and the credits started to roll, I was getting really sleepy and I knew I needed to make a quick pit stop before going to sleep. I had almost forgot that I was wearing a diaper until I went to get up and she asked where I was going. I told her I needed to pee and was going to go before we went to sleep, so I wouldn't need to get up during the night. She looked confused. Why would you need to get up to pee? You're wearing a pull-up, silly. She said this like I was crazy for thinking otherwise. I was completely caught off guard by her comment. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that you pee yourself on purpose? I thought those were for accidents that you can't control. Well, sometimes I can't control it, but if my mom expects me to be in a soggy pull-up by morning and I wake up needing to go, I just go. What difference does it make? It sure beats getting out of bed and walking on the cold floor and sitting on the cold toilet and feeling wide awake after. She said this all like it was a completely obvious solution. Besides, she said, it feels really warm and cozy when you pee in bed and you're all snuggled up in the warm blankets. You'll fall right back to sleep like you never even woke up. I was shocked by what she was saying to me. I had never thought about peeing myself on purpose before, but I was also really curious. I mean, who wouldn't be? Instead of getting up to pee, I just said, okay, I guess I'm already wearing a diaper and you're supposed to pee in them. It was so crazy. I felt my heart racing as she turned off the light and we said our goodnights, while both wearing goodnights. It was hard to fall asleep knowing that the next time I wake up I'm going to purposely wet myself, in the diaper that I'm wearing, while lying next to my best friend who was going to do the same. Eventually, my bladder decided it was time, and I found myself lying there, heart racing, trying to relax. Years of potty training being put to the test. I pushed and pushed, but nothing happened. I was getting frustrated, and I was about to get up when I heard her quietly say, "Stop trying so hard, you just need to relax and let it happen." She was awake and she knew what I was doing. I was mortified. How did you know? I nervously asked her. I woke up to pee too, and I could hear you breathing hard and fidgeting. She was talking to me like this situation was completely normal. She then said softly, in a calming voice, "Just relax and take a few slow, deep breaths. Imagine that you're sitting on the toilet and—" Her voice trailed off as a telltale hissing sound came from beneath the covers. I couldn't believe it. She was really doing it. She was wetting the bed on purpose. Well, she was wetting her pull-up, but same difference. Then she did something that I'll never forget. She grabbed my hand and placed it on the front of her freshly wet diaper, and the instant I felt the warmth, my body relaxed and I felt it happening. It started as a little dribble but quickly turned into a full stream as my body relaxed and gave in. I couldn't believe what I was doing. I was peeing in my diaper, and that's a sentence I never thought I would say. My friend just giggled when she realized what was happening. "It's okay, I know you're not used to it yet. You'll get the hang of it soon enough," she said with a reassuring voice, patting the front of my diaper. I blushed. The next morning we woke up and she put my soggy pull-up in the bottom of the trash so no one would suspect that there were two bedwetters in the house now. I couldn't shake the thought of what happened the night before. After breakfast, I asked her if any of her daytime accidents were also not as accidental as she let on. She smiled at me. At this point, I should not have been surprised by her reply. I mean, I had woken up in a diaper that morning that I peed in on purpose. She told me about some of her accidents and how she managed to get away with it. Then she asked if I wanted to try wetting my daytime clothes too. This was also crazy, but I actually did want to see how it felt. And she was right about wetting our diapers. It was so warm and comforting. I can't remember ever feeling more cozy in bed, so we made a plan. I was going to have an accident that day, and it was going to be on purpose. The plan was to drink a ton of water and then see how long I could hold it before I had to let loose. We weren't going to go out in public, of course. We had the house to ourselves that day while her parents were at work. It would just be our little secret. As the day wore on, I found myself getting more and more excited at the thought of intentionally wetting my pants. It was taboo and thrilling all at the same time. Eventually, I realized I wasn't going to be able to hold on much longer when felt my body let the tiniest little warm spurt of pee out into my panties. "I think we should go outside right now," I told her with urgency in my voice. She immediately knew why and grabbed my hand, practically running to the backyard with me in tow. She asked if I wanted to try it standing up or sitting down. I decided that sitting down might be easier since that's how I'm used to peeing when I'm on the toilet. So we plopped down on the grass with our legs crossed, facing each other. Her eyes were glued to my crotch, waiting for the wet patch to appear on my jeans. With nervous excitement, I relaxed and began to let it all go. It was so much easier to pee like this than it was while lying down in someone else's bed. Warm liquid quickly spread throughout my pants, creating a telltale stain that would have been embarrassing if anyone else knew what I was doing. My best friend just laughed and high-fived me. "Welcome to the club," she said as she looked down to watch her own warm, wet spot spread across her jeans. And as the years passed, we continued our secret game of purposely wetting ourselves, both during the day and at night. It was like a thrilling, secret world that only we knew about. Over time, we started experimenting with different ways to wet ourselves. Sometimes we would sit down and pee through our jeans, or stand with our feet together and let it run down our legs under our dresses. While other times we would lay down and let it all flow, soaking into our bed sheets. One day during summer break, we decided to take things to the next level. We went to a public park wearing shorts and tank tops. The thrill of being in public made our hearts race, and we couldn't wait to wet ourselves. We sat on a bench, sipping on drinks until our bladders were about to burst. Then we stood up and leaned against a tree, letting our pee stream through our shorts, down our legs, and soak into the grass beneath us. Then we ran to the bathrooms to change into some dry shorts so no one would see two girls walking around with obvious pee stains between their legs. We didn't do it all the time, of course. We still had to maintain the appearance of being able to control our bodily functions. It would have been hard to convince our parents that they were actually accidents if we did it all the time. But every now and then, when we were feeling daring, we would indulge in our little game. Then we started wearing pull-ups under our clothes and intentionally wetting them when we were out with others, giggling as we felt the warm liquid spread throughout the padding. We had a secret phrase we would say to let the other one know we had just peed, since from the outside, no one knew what we were up to. Then everything changed when we started going online and talking to other people who shared our interests. I don't know how we found it, but we ended up on a website for people all over the world who like to pee their pants and diapers. Knowing that we weren't alone and that there were so many others out there like us, we suddenly felt like we were part of a community and we weren't the only two weirdos on the planet. There's lots of wetters out there just like us. Eventually, we moved away from each other and went to different colleges. We still keep in touch, but we only see each other once a year or so when we both go back home around the holidays. Our little game became something more like a memory that we would talk about when we were feeling nostalgic. So I'm telling you all of this because it's a part of who I am, and if we're going to be together, then I don't want to hide anything from you. It's an important part of me, but it's just one part of me. We can still have a normal relationship if you're not interested in any of what I just told you about. And if you are curious about it, we can take things as slowly as you'd like. So what do you think? Do you want to date a girl who still has accidents?